Job insurance means just what it says. As part of the Federal Social Security Act, it was backed by all parties in Congress and passed by an overwhelming majority. It was signed by President Roosevelt and became law on August 14, 1935. Throughout the land, industry and labor joined in this new attack on unemployment and insecurity. And to launch this nationwide movement, in cooperation with each of the states, the President appointed the nonpartisan Social Security Board, which now includes Miss Mary Dewson, Chairman Arthur J. Altmeyer, and Mr. George Biggie. The board has started a program of job insurance in cooperation with the states. Today, Louisiana and every other state have unemployment compensation laws. In the capital at Baton Rouge, necessary plans have been made for the payment of job insurance to workers after January 1st, 1938. And here is your governor, Richard W. Lesh, conferring with B.W. Kaysen, the state labor commissioner who administers Louisiana's unemployment compensation law. In Louisiana, 214,000 men and women are insured. They are workers in shipyards, lumber mills, oil industry, sugar mills, offices, and stores that contribute to the Unemployment Insurance Trust Fund. Handling the claims of those who become unemployed is a tremendous undertaking, for which the state has set up an extensive and efficient organization to make sure that benefits will be paid to everybody who is entitled to job insurance with as little delay as possible. To show how job insurance works, let's introduce Steve, a Louisiana worker who has just lost his job. He goes first to the nearest state employment office to register for a new job. Steve needn't hesitate about going in because this office was set up just to help people like him. After a quick checkup shows that Steve has not already registered at this office, he is introduced to the interviewer, who will help him register for work. Steve's financial condition won't be questioned, for he has a right to these benefits, even though he may have money in the bank or others in his family are working, or also drawing unemployment compensation. First, there is a form to fill out. The employment office wants to get Steve a job in his own line, so he is asked what kind of work he can do and where he has been employed. This office must get information which will determine whether Steve is eligible for benefit payments. To be eligible, you must have worked at least 13 weeks during the last 52 weeks in an insured job. You must be able and willing to work. Now, another step is to fill out Steve's job insurance claim. Of course, he can't collect for unemployment occurring before 1938. Also, he cannot collect if he belongs to any of the groups of workers that the Louisiana law does not insure. These are agricultural workers, domestic service in private homes, federal, state, county, and city employees, workers on vessels on the navigable waters of the United States, children under 21 employed by a parent or anyone employed by his child or spouse, employees of non-profit, charitable, educational, and religious organizations, and so forth. And in most cases, employees of a firm having less than 8 workers. But Steve is one of Louisiana's insured industrial and commercial workers who are entitled to job insurance. So he shows his Social Security number for identification and signs his claim. Now that Steve has registered for work and filed his claim for benefits, he goes out to look for a job, knowing that while he looks, the employment office is also trying to find him work. If they succeed, they will notify him at home. A week passes, And as Steve has not yet found work, he reports back to the employment office. This he continues to do each week for 3 more weeks, unless he finds work in the meantime. He must do this to give the employment office the necessary information so that he will receive his job insurance when it becomes due. This 4-week waiting period is required by law. Benefit payments start with the 5th week, but Steve must continue to report to the employment office every week to tell them that he is still out of work. Then every week for 15 weeks, an unemployment insurance check is mailed to his home unless he gets a job in the meantime. The Louisiana law also provides benefits for partial unemployment, for which there is no waiting period. Each week, the letter carrier brings Steve a check for half the normal weekly wage he used to earn. The maximum is $15, the minimum is $5, or 3/4 of his earnings. Steve's unemployment check is not as big as the wage he used to get, but it goes a long way toward buying groceries and paying rent. It helps keep his family going, while the employment office helps Steve find a job. Finally, the employment office notifies Steve that they have found a job for him. Since he has not received all of the 15 weekly benefit checks for which the law provides, he may be eligible for additional payments if again laid off. Job insurance. This is the way the state of Louisiana is doing its part in the nationwide crusade against unemployment, fear, and insecurity. A crusade whose goal is embodied in the Declaration of Independence, the right of a free people to have a government that is to provide new guards for their future security.